And we are live.
Good morning, everyone. It's the one, the only Senor Silverback himself. It's the Optimus Primate coming to you live with my main man, the master of the flux capacitor, the denizen of the airwaves, the producer extraordinaire, and we are back with another Rogue Money morning where we give you the news, the views, and all the information that's important to you. So check us out on roguemoney.net. Follow us on Twitter at the Rogue Money, as well as Rogue Money Facebook and Rogue Money on every single podcasting app known to mankind. Also, check out Rogue Money on Apple News and soon to be Google News. We're everywhere you want us to be. Also, check out our sponsors, myfreedomnow.us, myfreedomnow.us. The response has been overwhelming. Do you need to get out of debt? Do you need to fix your credit score? Do you need money for investments? That dream business idea? You want to pay off your mortgage? Whatever the heck it is, these guys can get you up to $600,000 unsecured from their network of 335 lenders. MyFreedomNow.us. Check out also mygoldusb.com. Mygoldusb.com. Surf the deep web, evade the surveillance, and secure your Bitcoin wallet, all with one operating system that does email, messaging, web browsing, all in one shot. MyGoldUSB.com. With that being said, CJ, what's crack-a-lackin'?
Hey, good morning, V. Good morning. Prior to this going on air, we were talking a little bit around the epic battles that occurred Saturday night on the UFC. It was a huge night
Man,
for
that
UFC
that was
fans.
incredible. What do you say?
Yeah, I said, yeah, it was just an incredible, great card all the way around. Watched two guys that truly hated each other, John Jones and Daniel Cormier go at it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was an exciting night for UFC fans.
Yeah, it was a great night. John Bones Jones is back, man, and then he calls out Brock Lesnar. So let's see how this goes. Looks like John Bones Jones is going to be going into the heavyweights. Honestly speaking, man, this guy is like Anderson Silva 2.0. Great striking, great range, just an amazing athlete. God bless him. He's been through hell. The guy was in a very dark place, and he came back. And it's very inspirational for anybody who had to go through a dark spot in their life, or you're going through a dark spot in their life, and you've practically pissed off everybody and disappointed everybody into your life. It's not over. Just like what Bones says when he after you won it, it's not over. Just as long as you don't quit, it ain't over. Just don't quit. And
Right,
that's
and I think that's a great message segue into the conversation today because I think that
yeah,
I never liked Jones personally. I just, all of his mistakes that he made and
yeah,
I paid for one of the pay-per-views that he dropped out in for the title fight. So I had a lot
yep.
of hatred to this guy, but I saw a new level of maturity of a young athlete, somebody again like exactly what you said had made numerous with mistakes with drug addiction, with his money and his handling of his finances, just several mistakes. And the guy's at an all-time low, and to see somebody come back like that, V, and again, just not to give up hope is such an important message right now, V.
It's absolutely a huge, important message, and then not only that, man, is it's inspirational, man. It's inspirational, and look, let's not forget this guy went all Mike Tyson on us. This is a guy who, he was 21 years old. He became world champion. He got money for the first time in his life. Didn't know what the heck to do with it. He partied it up. He got in trouble left and right, and he hit rock bottom. He absolutely hit rock bottom, and now I think there's a level of growth and maturity there. There's a zen about him that wasn't there before. Before you had that nervous, unsured, wild card like live wire type energy that was coming off of him. These days he's been extremely zen, and he was incredibly gracious after knocking out Cormier in the third round with that feinted low kick that actually went high and took his head off. But extremely gracious towards the end of the fight. Very well done. Very well done. Great fight. I enjoyed watching it, man. It was well worth the card. Now all I'm waiting for is McGregor and Mayweather, and that would cap my summer siege.
Yep, less than 30 days. Less than
That's
30
it.
days.
That's it. Less than 30 days, and something old has got to go. I get to see McGregor knock the block off of Mayweather. A lot of people don't think so, and I agree that Mayweather is probably the greatest defensive boxer that has ever lived. There's no doubt about it. It's one of the greatest of all time. But I think 2016, 2017, 2018 is the era of change, CJ. There's a lot of changes happening. And talking about changes that are happening, man, let's start off with the first topic here. The Russiagate nonsense is actually being exposed big time. And, on roguemoney.net, we had Harley via the Roosh Pack post a very important article. See, do you want to break that down real quick? And I'll jump into the whole thing with the North Koreans.
Yeah, this everyone has to remember, thinking back, and we're really starting to see Trump now hit back against the deep state, hit back against this false narrative in regards to the DNC hack. And Harley and LaRouche Pack points out some very truth information in regards to the lie, the amount of disinformation coming back from the time period of the elections to the time where this apparent, Guccifer releases information to WikiLeaks, and then WikiLeaks release these emails. I mean, in part, we've broken this down as well, V, that when you think of how this information came forth, the amount of detail provided in this emails, the PDFs, the documents that are attached with this has all the markings of an inner workings of a leaker, somebody that leaked information, right. Seth Rich, directly to the WikiLeaks and utilize this information. And more times than not, if you take a look back to some of the time periods, some of the timestamps that were released, this is ahead of the entire narrative. And I think in part, like LaRouche Pack specifically states out, is that knowing in fact that this information that's coming out now regarding the Awan brothers and how they had access to all this classified Foreign Relations Committee emails, all the databases, everything that's there, is that there was numerous players. So who sold this information? Is it potentially that this information was sold at one time? And it was very important for the DNC and Wasserman Schultz to completely flip the narrative and blame this on the Russians to hide their inner workings of what truly happened at the DNCV.
It's incredulous to me that, in the age of modern computers, in the age of such openness and sophistication, where you could literally, do some investigating and uncover what the truth of the real matter is within 5 minutes, these idiots thinking that it's the 1980s could come out and concoct a narrative such as, oh, it was the Russians. The Russians are the ones who get it. How stupid. And now we're hearing, bro, that Imran Awan's story is really getting traction. In fact, recently on Fox News, you had Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer, who actually went out there and talked about the connections between Imran Awan, the millions of dollars that were funded, the most of the time these guys spend in Pakistan, and their connections, bro, to the Muslim Brotherhood. These are huge. And this is the things that you and I were footballing with back and forth. You and I were tossing the ball back and forth about this whole entire case. The moment that it happened, we said, you know what? This smells like an intelligence op. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some terrorist group that's getting funding from these guys. That this is definitely some sort of a foreign intelligence job, and that's exactly what it is. It is more than just a bank wire, and we're seeing this is where all the leaks going from. These people are absolutely compromised, and Wasserman Schultz, I mean, she is in a serious bind. People think that she's going to skate out of this one. I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be any skating out of this. This is such egregious stupidity. There's no excuses that can possibly be made for this. It's egregious stupidity. And one of the things I do know about the deep state, they will throw you under the bus for something that's egregiously stupid. Okay? And that is why the deep state they are falling out of favor with Hillary Clinton. They're falling out of favor with the Clintons in general. And they're falling out of favor with Wasserman Schultz. That's why we can expect something to happen. Either arrest and or cessation of life for any one of these characters in the next 6 to 9 months. Maybe in the next 3 to 6 months. But this is definitely a string that Donald Trump is going to be pulling. The idiots in Congress think that they got Trump backed up into a corner, and it's not the case. And Siege, we even said the best thing that Trump could do is go ahead and sign those Russian sanctions, which will cause the idiots in Congress to take the blame because it's these fools, right? They're the ones who concocted it, and he has to sign it because anything else, if they got a chance to reconvene, they can come out with something much more severe and then try to pressure him to sign. If he doesn't sign, they'll incite Article 25 and try to get him impeached, this, that, and the other. Smart move. And look at Congress. Look how insane these idiots are. And there was a great article that I tweeted out over the weekend, CJ, with Pepe Escobar wrote it, and it was on Sputnik News. And one of the things that Pepe cited, he quoted a Greek philosopher. I forgot the name of the philosopher, but he said this: "Whom God is about to judge, he first drives mad." And I thought about that for a second. Look at our Congress. 99% of them are freaking crazy.
Amen.
They're nuts. So these idiots are going to get exposed, my man. War drums on the 38th parallel, CJ. Will there be a war with North Korea? That's the latest thing that's being drummed up, man.
Yeah, and how the information is coming out, whether it's the entire actions that's taken place, are we witnessing the media forcing this information? It's anytime that you see the same narrative hit the airwaves the same day regarding North Korea releases these new ballistic missiles that can hit Colorado. As a matter of fact, they can hit every state within the United States. And remember, this is the same media that told us that terrorists with cardboard boxers took down the Twin Towers. The same media that told us that the weapons of mass destruction, that in order to, we had to take on Iraq first before Afghanistan. And now they're forcing this down the throats regarding North Korea, V, and I'm not buying it, V.
Yeah, I'm not buying it either, my man. I'm telling you right now, it's a, you look at this whole entire thing, the whole North Korea war situation. This is being trumped up and being accelerated. You got idiots like Nikki Haley. For some reason, it's like the neocons are again on the forefront because they just love war. The perpetual war party, which is both the Democrats and the Republicrats. Two wings on the same dragon. And they are again once again on the forefront of the whole beating of the war drums. The question becomes, will there be war in the Korean Peninsula? The answer is going to be, again, no. I don't care how much rhetoric is going to happen. I don't see any conflict. Any sort of strike by the United States will have 100 million artillery shells raining down on Seoul. It will have up to 200,000 North Korean special ops crossing the border, crossing the DMZ into Seoul, and possibly even targeting, the whole entire northern area of Korea will be a disaster. It'll be a humanitarian disaster, not to mention the amount of problems that it would cause for China, for Russia. And a lot of people are like, well, Trump doesn't care right now. He doesn't care. He's calling out China, this, that, and the other. Now, people will say, North Korea is China's lapdog. Yes and no. We have to remember who helped set up North Korea. We have to remember who initially set up the whole entire Hermit Kingdom, and that would be the Cocaine Import Agency. They're the ones responsible for setting up North Korea. Siege. Hold on one second, man. I got to sneeze.
No, go for it. No, you're absolutely right. And is this a preemptive strike to prevent any type of North-South unification under China influence, completely kicking out the United States out of the South, V?
Bingo, because you got to understand, look at the way what's been happening in Asia. And I've described this in multiple articles in years past, and damn it, I need to start writing again, dude. It's been too long. In multiple articles in years past, I've stated that the number one currency that is flowing throughout Asia, it's not the dollar anymore. It is the yuan. And you're having a China-centric Asia, okay? And all of a sudden, why have the U.S. there? Why have, the reason why there's North Korea is that the Seventh Fleet exists, okay? That is the reason why there's North Korea. Without North Korea, there will be no Seventh Pacific Fleet. There will be no air base in Guam. There will be no, Okinawa Air Force Base, right? There will be no, 40,000 troops on the DMZ. There'll be none of those things. All those things go away. All those military bases close out. Okay, and like I told you guys, the military industrial complex is a bureaucracy. They're not about effective war fighting. They're not about if fielding effective weapons. They're not about that. They're about keeping the bureaucracy afloat, because once a bureaucracy takes power or takes hold, the number one job, the number one purpose of that bureaucracy is to stay alive, is to stay viable. And that's what we're going to see here. You're going to have a lot of rhetoric. It's going to appear that any second now the U.S. is going to strike North Korea. That's what's going to be portrayed to you, the public. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen unless they covertly kill Kim Jong Un, or covertly decapitate the leadership of North Korea. There's no other way of doing it in terms of this. And let's be honest here. You want to really clamp down on North Korea. It's not that hard. Clamp down on the banks. I mean, after all, you assholes at the NSA can trace everything, right? You guys can trace every phone call, every bank wire. Ooh, we have it all. You guys know who's funding North Korea. You guys know every single bank that's clearing those funds. You know it's HSBC's in there. Come on now. Come on now. Let's do something. Let's grow up. No one's buying this whole North Korea anytime they're going to launch a nuke in the U.S. No one's buying that BS. Anyway, CJ, key takeaways from the SEC's DAO statement on cryptos, my man.
Yeah, so very interesting to see the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, issuing this ruling regarding ICOs and initial token offerings, stating that these should have fell under the umbrellas of the SEC in regards to the initial coin offerings, how they're made, and that this was again, this was kind of in a way just kind of very shockwaves throughout the cryptocurrency world, that the SEC determined that these were more of a securities type backed. The same thing of any initial IPO, as we know in the stock world. So now we're starting to see the SEC come around to their rulings, and this potentially will definitely have impact on ICOs going forward.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. A lot of people think that now the SEC is going to make headway into the ICO world. I don't think so, man. I think the governmental regulators are going to try, but they don't know where to grab the head or the tail of this dragon, because this dragon is clearly out of the bottle. It's out of the cave. It's breathing fire. It's large and it's in charge. It's so damn decentralized. How do you stop can anybody explain to you, how do you stop an ICO?
You can't. They don't have international rulings, and a lot of these cryptocurrencies are generated outside of the U.S.
Bingo. You can't. So this is a double-edged sword of what I see. Look, SEC ain't gonna do jack crap, but if there is a ICO that's out there or wants to come out, and they are able to really attract money. Like, for instance, if there's an ICO that says, okay, we're going to be an ICO, but we're going to do something that's going to be really revolutionary, and we're going to play by the SEC's rules. They can do that. They just want to be able to, with the SEC's, findings here with the whole DAO statement, they just want to be able to, quote unquote, protect the investor. Okay, I get it. But in this decentralized world that we're heading to, I mean, how much more? How much more is going to can possibly happen, man? How much more? I don't think so, CJ.
Well, anyway, no, I was just gonna say, and in regards to the SEC, is that we don't want regulation. We want deregulated, things that are very disruptive in the economy. However, no one benefits or no one understands or values the regulation until it impacts them, and therefore we do not want to see, let's say, for example, you or I, we invest $20,000 in an ICO, and to come to find out that the entire thing was a fraud, right? That this was never taking place, and then we're the first to say, yeah, we need more regulation on this stuff. So again, exactly what you said. It's a double-edged sword, and in the event now that the SEC is having to try to backlog or backtrack through this, is going to be nearly impossible for them to do that.
Yeah, and let's be honest here, guys. Buyer beware when it comes to ICOs. You don't want to get a coin or a token, let's say like poop coin, where you give poop coins to reward somebody for going to the bathroom multiple times in a day. You don't want that. Okay, that's a useless coin. All right, so you want to find something with uses and invest in that. And again, these things are going to be volatile, extremely volatile. The risk is high, and I'm not giving investment advice here, but I mean, there's a lot of great resources you can bring to bear. Uh, I personally like, and I'm not getting paid to say it whatsoever. I like Cliff Heiser Webbot reports on cryptos. He's been scary spot on. It's been terrifying how accurate he's been on cryptos. So, those are some of the things you could use, man. Anyway, let's move on to the dumbest people south of the equator, CJ. The dumbest people south of the equator, the idiots of a country that is lush and rich in farmland, that is rich in natural resources, that is floating on oil, but yet they are starving to death and eating their pets. Let's talk about the country of Venezuela.
Well, surprise, surprise, V, that the Venezuelan Electoral Authority states that over 8 million people voted Sunday to give Constitutional Assembly, basically giving Maduro expanding power in his Socialist Party. Again, though, when you take a look at this and you break this article down, V, it states the numbers that Maduro is taunting, or not taunting, but just stating that basically 8 million people voted. When they take a look at this data, this information like exit polls and so forth, it's showing that a very small percentage of people even turned out to even vote for this. Be an estimated 3.6 million participated in this vote, which is basically about 18.5% of registered voters. So this was going to pass regardless of voter turnout. You know that. V, I lost you on your audio. So V is crashed for a minute.
There you go.
There you go. Back.
Sorry about that, man.
No worries. Did you catch in regards to the fact that he's claiming that massive people came out to show support to give him more powers? However, some of the organizations that report these findings, that monitor these elections, are stating that less than 18.5% of registered voters turned out to vote for this V.
Yeah, it's a total sham. This is a way for Nicholas the Sweetness Maduro to keep his his bus driving acts going. He's going to bus drive the country of Venezuela over a cliff. Look, you can't expect less from Saddam Hussein's body double. Okay, what do you expect when you have Saddam Hussein's body double and he is the one running your country? It's going to be a crap hole, and that's exactly what's happening over here. I mean, this guy is just literally just a moron. Venezuelans should just just take over your government, man. I mean, you guys outnumber your government like 100 to 1. Like, what is wrong with you people? It's beyond me. Just go ahead, more socialism. Have at it, guys. It's working out well for you guys. Bunch of morons. Anyway, EU proposal blocks account holders' ability to withdraw funds because the EU, it's a problem again with Western banks. You put that money in, it ain't your money no more.
You gotta love the thought process of the European Union in regards to their banks, their failing banks.
Yep.
So now a document that Reuters has, basically published, is stating that now they're truly looking at, in the event of bank runs, or in the event that a bank is insolvent in terms of their lending, that now they're actually looking to pass regulations that give the banks the right, V, to just go ahead and temporarily block bank accounts and account holders from withdrawing their money from the bank, V. Basically just like a bail-in, a mandatory bail-in in the event that a bank run occurs.
Yep, that's exactly what it is, which means that the Europeans are pretty much end of the road when it comes to bank solvency. Okay, guys, we're at the verge where they don't even want to give any sort of money out, period. Everybody's holding. Why? Well, the next time around when there's a bank failure, it's not going to be a bailout. It's going to be a bail-in. And we've seen it in Italian banks. We've seen it in the Austrian banks. It's happening, and it's coming. And the same BIS legislation, Basel III, has been incorporated here in the United States as well. And I'm telling you, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. So, uh, account holder beware. And with that,
Absolutely.
my friend, we have come to the end of the broadcast. The ape is going to go away for a couple of days. Siege will be at the helm. I will be soaking up some sun and rays over at the latest North Korean beach, watching Kim Jong Un firing off missiles while I sit there and sip my banana daiquiri. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Nice.
Oh man! With that being said, folks, thank you all again, and again, check out our sponsors, myfreedomnow.us. Get your money from there, fix your credit, get out of debt, whatever you need. And mygoldusb.com. Surf the web in total anonymity. With that being said, CJ, we are over and we're out. Take it away, my man.